there we are, the characters we all love from Peak Practice. And did you see it back on the box last night? Well, it's day 2 of our special series on one of TV's top medical dramas, and we've got some baby talk for you this morning. At the centre of the story is Dr. Kate Webster, who gave birth last night, and in one of the quickest recoveries ever, we'll be talking to actress Shelagh McLeod. We'll be talking to her in a moment to find out if it really is going to be a nappy event. But first, let's remind ourselves of her story so far.
But I'd like to give it a go.
I don't know what to say.
Say you'll be a brilliant, loving father, and that you'll make very generous financial provision.
Oh, epidural! I want an epidural!
We can't give you an epidural. You wouldn't be able to push.
Well, this is useless!
Kate? Kate? What are you doing?
Can't get her to sleep.
You shouldn't just leave her, darling.
I haven't. Sorry.
Kate, she's really hot. It's really hot in here.
I said I'm sorry.
We need to get some rest. It's what Dr. Nixon told us.
Will you go home and rest? Imagine she's got the bloody flu or something. It's a killer, Will. This disease is a killer. We're going to watch our baby suffer and die. And if that's the only life we can promise her, the least we can do is not let her die alone.
Oh dear, well it was a happy event last night, but according to that, Sheila, it doesn't, it's not going to carry on that way.
It's very sad, it's very sad. Yes, the birth was exhausting, I have to say, filming it, but yes, the things take a turn for the worse, and the baby gets very sick, and it goes undiagnosed by us, which makes us feel dreadful, and then she goes into hospital.
Right, and you actually, we spoke to Simon Shepherd, who played your partner in the series, Dr. Will Preston, yesterday. He's leaving after the 4th episode.
Yes.
And does that mean you'll be...
No, I leave with him. We both go off to Bristol to look after our baby, and we have to move there because this particular unit that will look after our baby is there. So we both leave in episode, but we leave on a happy note, so it's quite nice, yeah.
And will you miss it?
Terribly. I mean, I didn't think I would. I love the Peak District, and I love the crew and cast. I worked with fabulous director Alan Grint, and I mean, it was brilliant. It was like a family. But I won't miss the driving up and down. That was exhausting.
That's what Simon said yesterday.
Yeah,
actually,
and I've just been shooting something else, and it's funny how I keep thinking about it, and I do miss it dreadfully, yeah.
Now, obviously, you did give birth to Emily last night in the series. You have a daughter yourself, though, Catherine, don't you, who's 18 months.
Yeah, she's 18
months.
Did
that bring back any awful memories?
I actually had a cesarean, and so I just climbed onto a table, and they whacked me with drugs, and snip, snip, and out she came. So we had actually a midwife on the set with us going through all the lessons and teaching me how to breathe and puff, and so I didn't actually have to go through any of that.
That's your real babby there. That's
gorgeous
Catherine.
picture.
That's Catherine, yeah.
Lovely. You look a bit like Elizabeth Hurley there.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. I like that. That's nice. One day maybe she'll learn to sleep through the night, my daughter, but she certainly doesn't do it yet.
Have you taken to motherhood well?
Do you know, it took me 6 months. I think there's a big conspiracy out there. I think the first 6 months are really tough, and I was scared. I thought it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Now I'm loving it. You know, now she can sort of walk and talk, and she responds to things. She's great.
Did you ever hear of the terrible twos?
Yeah.
You're approaching those.
You've had experience.
It gets worse, it gets worse.
I know, I think it's just starting now.
Yeah.
You know, she's saying, Mummy, naughty, and things like that, and I can see it happening.
But you said you had a tough time, but did you ever have postnatal depression? Because a lot of women do, and it's ignored,
Did I have postnatal depression? I don't know, but I certainly felt very down. I was riddled with anxiety the whole time. I was also filming. I went back to work 6 weeks after she was born, and I was filming, which I think kept me sane. I think if I'd sat there and stared at the walls, I probably would have gone, you know, down. But I think it's just such a shock, you know. I've bombing along my life being an actress.
You've never sat and stared at the walls. A very interesting life. We were just talking there before the break because you're both good old USA girls.
Yes,
You've been based out in the States.
You lasted longer than I did.
Yeah, 7 years. I was there for 7 years.
And what sort of programs did you work on when you were out there?
I did loads of TV. I did. I worked with Elizabeth Taylor, which was fun. I did a very small role, but she was amazing.
Was she really nice though? Because I filmed her backstage on a series, and I have to say, and I know Elizabeth Taylor fans are going to hate me for this, but she was a bit of an old witch actually. That she wasn't nice to the people who weren't on her level.
She was very cold when I arrived on the set. I mean, I was on it for one day, and I was shivering and shaking. I was terrified. I was working with the famous Elizabeth Taylor. But once she warmed up, she was lovely, and she's so beautiful still. I mean, her eyes are purple. She has purple eyes. And she warmed up. I mean, the first few hours were pretty scary. But I just sat very quietly and shivered and shook.
Did what you were told.
Yeah, I did what I was told. And I did an A-team, which was fun, and, you know, working with George Papard, as we were talking about earlier, he was lovely.
Mr. T with all that
Mr. T,
jewellery
and they
there,
do great stunts in America. You know, I did a lot of sort of episodic TV, so you do wild and crazy things. I was lucky, I worked.
Those purple eyes of Elizabeth Taylor's, I wonder where they're her own, because nothing else
Don't start me
is,
off,
are
because
they?
you know you're going to lead me down a very rocky road here. I'm not saying anything. But you said you have kept on working, and you are leaving after 4 episodes.
I leave, yeah.
But you're still working, aren't you, after that?
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I've just finished doing, literally just finished doing a series called The Knock. I went to Hong Kong for 5 seconds, which was fun. And I play a real baddie in it, so it's a real character change. So it's great.
It's great for you as an actress.
Yes. Yeah, nice to play such a different character immediately after doing playing a doctor. You know, she's got no scruples, this girl, and she just goes off and does terrible things, which is great.
We look forward to seeing you in that. That's The Knock, and when's that on?
April it starts.
Great, we'll watch you in that. Thanks very much, Sheila, for
very
I'm sorry I got your name wrong most of the programme. Actually, it's not Shelagh McLeod, it's Shelagh McLeod.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, lovely to see you.
Thanks
anyway.
very much.
Thanks, Sheila.
Yeah, and we have more from Peak Practice tomorrow, when we're joined by 2 more of the show's top docs. Dr. Erica Matthews, that's actress Saskia Wickham, and Dr. Andrew Atwood. He, of course, is played by Gary Mavers, and they'll be on at the same time tomorrow.
Seeing that smoochy shot there in Peak Practice reminds me, pucker up, let me see your lips there.